Okay, so I'm Brandon Alvarez, and this is why exotic animals shouldn't be kept as pets. So, first off, some exotic animals include big cats, such as tigers and lions, big or poisonous snakes like pythons, monkeys and chimpanzees, alligators, or any big reptiles that are dangerous, exotic fish, such as lionfish, which we'll get into later, and exotic birds, such as medium to large parrots or parakeets. So, our first reason is owning exotic animals as pets is dangerous for humans and animals alike. So, since 1990, there have been 19 fatalities due to exotic animal attacks and hundreds of other injuries. Owning these animals costs a lot and require a lot of research, and a lot of owners don't know that going into buying these animals. Like I said, a lot of owners don't recognize this. Animals aren't taken care of properly, and they are very malnourished and die earlier than they would in the wild. Animals can escape and bring harm to themselves and others. And then continued, exotic animals can carry dangerous diseases such as herpes B, monkeypox, Ebola, salmonellosis, and the image in the top right is an example of monkeypox. And in the popular Netflix series Tiger King, an example of this would also be one of Joe Exotic's staff members reaching her hand in a tiger enclosure and it getting ripped off. So then this is another tragic example of the Zanesville massacre. In 2011, a man in Ohio released 49 of his exotic animals. This include tigers, lions, bears, monkeys, and other dangerous animals. Many of these animals weren't taken care of properly and were very aggressive, like they had smaller enclosures, weren't fed, weren't taken care of. This led to all 49 of those animals being shot and killed, ran over, or went missing for days. And the man later took his own life. So then on to our second reason is that exotic animals are also dangerous to ecosystems. Often, owners release exotic animals and they ruin these ecosystems. Exotic animals can ruin food chains and wipe out species around them. Some examples of this are the Burmese pythons in the Everglades, which you see in the bottom right, and lionfish around Florida. And lionfish, especially because they kill other fish and ruins their food chains, which ruins fishermen's jobs, and restaurants can't get those fish for people to eat. And lionfish are especially hard to kill because they are poisonous, and pythons in the Everglades have killed many raccoons, almost wiped out raccoons in the area, which also leads to many other problems. So these are some of the arguments from the opposition that say owning exotic animals is fine and should be left alone. So owning an exotic animal provides the animal shelter. In fact, owning exotic animals can be much more dangerous to both the owners, the people around them, and to the animal themselves, as the owner can get the disease and spread it to other people, or animals can be hurt, animals can't be properly taken care of, and such. The diseases mentioned are very rare. So actually these diseases, yes, they are very rare in animals, but they are very deadly and can spread very fast among other animals and other humans. And we can see an example of this in our current pandemic, COVID-19 or coronavirus. And another argument would be a lot of owners end up releasing their animals safely into environments where animals can thrive. And like I said before, this isn't necessarily true. Most of these animals are released into the wrong ecosystem and end up ruining it. Also, some of these animals aren't prepared to go out into the wild as they aren't trained properly, so they can't find food and they can't survive. An example I would use of this argument would be a man releasing his tiger into a forest or such as the Everglades. Yes, the tiger can live and thrive there, but it will ruin other species and mess up the entire ecosystem. So what should be done with exotic animals? So owning exotic animals as pets, especially dangerous and endangered species, should be illegal. Exotic animals must be released into their natural habitats when the animals are able to, such as when they're able to fend for themselves, find food, find shelter. So the only way humans should be able to own exotic animals if they can provide for them, and they are through conservation efforts. Especially when the owners don't profit off of those animals. So nothing like zoos. So these are some questions I thought that would be asked. Are all owners bad? No. Some owners are able to properly care for their animals, but most of them are bad and can't afford to. An example would be Joe Exotic in Tiger King. He thought that he could shelter them and give them a home, but he could not provide properly for the animals, and animals were given meat that was old and from Walmart. Don't pythons and lionfish belong in warm tropical environments? As I said before, yes, those animals can thrive in those environments, but ecosystems that don't include those animals are broke down and can't thrive properly. And so these are my sources, and that was my presentation. Thank you.